make any more money on average than other high school graduates 5 to 14 years after their certification. Furthermore, the San Francisco Chronicle economics editor, Jonathan Marshall, wrote in the March 1995 issue of Reason, quote, "America's lack of a formal system for training youth may be a strength, not a weakness. In a fluid job market where employer demands are changing constantly, specific job training in their teen years may be wasted. Studies show that developing general skills and cognitive ability rather than narrow vocational education helps students perform better on the job and in further education," end quote. On March 31st, 1994, Congress passed what was formally titled Goals 2000 Educate America Act. It was largely written for United States Secretary of Education Richard Riley by Michael Cohen, an ally of NCEE President Mark Tucker and the former director of NCEE's National Alliance for Restructuring Education. Prior to working for the National Alliance, Cohen had directed a project on restructuring the education system agenda for the 90s for the National Governors Association. The NGA's Center for Policy Research received $691,000 from the Carnegie Corporation for this project. The V of Goals 2000 created a National Skills Standards Board, a member of which would be Carolyn Warner, former Superintendent of Public Instruction for Arizona, and a recent featured speaker in Beijing, China. According to the Arizona Republic, January 7, 1975, Warner ranked teachers higher in importance than the parents of their students, remarking that those who educate are more to be honored than those who bear children. How do you like that? That's the kind of thinking these people have. The latter gave them only life, the former teach them the art of living. The absolute despicable audacity of these new breed of reducators, that's right, I said reducators, Marxist, socialists, is seen in Warner's presenting as undisputed fact the bizarre notion that teachers, not parents, are the traditional instructors in the age-old task of teaching the child the art of living. I get so angry when I hear these people talk. It's like they're living on some other planet and actually don't understand the slightest basic principles and ideals upon which this nation was founded and that made it the greatest nation in the world, with the highest standard of living, at one time the best educational system in the world, and a lot of other things. The fact that we're on the downhill slide is because of these people, ladies and gentlemen. These people are destroying this country from within. They're not Americans. They're Marxist socialists. And if they had their way, and if it was fashionable to admit it, they'd come right out and tout communism. Because according to Karl Marx and Lenin himself, the ultimate goal of socialism is communism. Make no mistake about it. And if you think communism is dead in the world, read Mr. Gorbachev's book, Perestroika, where he will tell you clearly that the fall of the Soviet Union was a deception to disarm the West. And then read Golitsyn, the high-ranking KGB defector, who told us years in advance that there would be a deceptive disintegration of the Soviet Union in order to disarm the West and bring about a socialist, totalitarian, one-world government. And then go back and replay the old newsreels or videotapes of Khrushchev banging his shoe on his desk in the General Assembly of the United Nations, declaring to the world that, quote, we do not have to invade you, we do not have to bomb you, we will destroy you from within, end quote. And that's exactly what they're doing. If there was one place where NCEE's and Tucker's grand design should have worked, it was Rochester, New York, which had its school system virtually taken over by NCE in the late 1980s. However, by the mid-1990s, it was becoming clear that the Rochester schools were a disaster, total failure. According to that city's newspaper, the Democrat and Chronicle, May 7th, 1995, quote, 40% of ninth graders don't make it through high school. Fewer graduates attain the state's more stringent Regents diploma. Most middle and high school test scores remained flat or declined. Teams of administrators, teachers, and parents formed to improve schools often didn't work well together. Middle schools created to cater to the needs of early adolescents are large, chaotic, and occasionally violent. We have failed, said Mayor William A. Johnson, Jr., end quote. But that doesn't deter these people. They want to implement these procedures nationwide. Why doesn't it deter them? Because the whole goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to dumb down the nation so that the people of the United States of America will accept their place in the new socialist world order. That's why the Constitution is not taught in our schools anymore. That's why the principles and ideals and the real history of this country are not taught to the students of our public schools. The editor of Relevance magazine tells me that he contacted the Washington office of the National Center on Education and the Economy and asked for comment on Dr. Cuddy's criticism of the center's backing of School to Work. A press spokesman suggested that such criticism simply meant that the center's work wasn't properly understood. He offered to have an NCEE specialist on School to Work call us back to comment. We welcomed the offer. However, as we go to press, we have received no response from the NCEE, end quote, and he won't either. And now, if they thought he was just another community sheeple, he would hear back. And they would browbeat him and BS him and baffle him with baloney until he accepted as right their dictates. But he's not that kind of person, ladies and gentlemen. But he's not that kind of person, ladies and gentlemen. Philip M. O'Halloran would have won that battle, and that's why they didn't call him back. Nor will they. They've never returned any of my calls either. On May 4th, 1994, just over a month after Goals 2000 became law, Congress passed the School to Work Opportunities Act, which provided that states receiving federal funds under this act had to coordinate their efforts with Goals 2000 and the National Skills Standards Act. Everybody thinks they're getting something from nothing from the federal government. The foundation in law states that whoever receives a benefit from a benefactor must accept the benefactor's dictation on how they can use that benefit. There are always strings attached, ladies and gentlemen. And all of you out there, all of you who think in your wildest dreams that you're getting something for nothing from the federal government or even the state government, you need your heads examined. No government has anything that didn't first come out of the pockets of the people. What is wrong with you people? If you kept all your money at home, listen to me carefully, if you kept all of your money that goes out of your community at home, you could have the best school system, the best teachers, and the best educated children in the world. You could have the best paved streets, the best hospital, the best medical care in the world. You could have charities set up to take care of your homeless, people who are the victims of accidents, and the infirm and the elderly. The best in the world. Because out of every dollar that leaves your community, 95 cents of it disappears into the vast bureaucracy to pay these social engineers. And you think you're getting something for free when 5 cents of it comes back to you. It's a shame that F.W. Woolworth closed, because there's a lot of other people that would like to go purchase brains like that. People wonder why I get so upset. I used to have the most trust in the American people that you can imagine. And all we have to do is tell them what's happening. Source it, document it. They're smart. They love freedom. They won't let this happen. Boy, was I in for a big surprise. Most people don't want to be bothered with anything. Just how to have a good time, where to get their next Budweiser, or how to get their next roll in the hay, or when they're going to have their next party, or how they're going to get the money to buy their RV or their boat, and to hell with everybody and everything else. They don't know what's going on in their city council. They don't know what's going on at their county supervisor's board meeting. They don't know what's going on in the county. They don't know what's going on in the state. How in the world can they even comment on what's going on at a national level? But they will. Oh, yes, they pretend like they know something. Now, if that makes you angry, I've hit it right on the nail. I have hit you right square between the eyes with the truth. If that upsets you, you are a sheeple, and you know it. And that's why it upsets you. It's like somebody walking down the street, and all of a sudden, somebody comes running out of a bank and says, "Stop thief! Stop that bank robber!" Only the bank robber gets angry and runs, folks. Everybody else just turns around and looks to see if they can see what's going on. So if it makes you angry when I talk like this, then I'm right on the money. I've hit my target, and you're it. You are exactly who I'm talking about. And you can pretend it's not true. You can blame all your problems on me or anybody else, but sooner or later, you're going to have to get up in the morning, go in the bathroom, and look yourself in the mirror. Make sure you close the door so nobody sees your big, giant alligator tears, because sooner or later you're going to realize that I'm right. Everybody out there, if you want to know what's wrong with America, go in your bathroom and look in the mirror. And don't think I'm lording it over on you, and don't think I'm some kind of elitist that feels that I'm better than anybody, because I'm going to tell you right now, for most of my life, that was me too. Just I woke up one day. I went in the bathroom, looked myself in the mirror, and big tears streamed out, and I said, "Bill, you've been a stupid, fool, ignorant, apathetic idiot all your life, and that's got to change right now." And it did. So I have a lot of empathy. I understand where you're at. I understand what it feels like. I also understand it's got to change immediately if we're going to maintain our freedom and if we're going to have any kind of a decent life in the future. You see, I can guarantee that not one single person listening to this broadcast will like living under socialism. None of you. And if you don't believe that, there's a lot of socialist countries in this world. Take a vacation, a long vacation, because a week isn't enough. And go live under that socialism just like the local people do. And then come back and tell me how much you enjoy it. It's coming here, soon, to a local theater near you. Only it won't be on the screen. It'll be at the box office and in the seats. It will be you and me and everybody else. who loses this battle. And it is a battle.